appreciated and useful over those next two games. Now, as we said earlier, a lot of boxes have been ticked in this game. A lot of progress has been made by England, a good start to the series. And of course, one of those ticks involves the man who opened the innings, Hameed, playing his first Test match. He's now with Ian Ward.
Has, thanks for your time. Extremely well played. Come on, what's Test match cricket like? How did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did enjoy it. I felt more comfortable the longer I spent out there. I was quite nervous in the first innings, but second innings I felt I got immersed into the game a bit more, and that took a little bit of the nerves away and the pressure. And I just took it as any other game in a way, and there was a challenge in front of us to set up a game, and that's the way I innings, and hopefully went right.
What was it like out there at the end then, when you're standing there at short leg and the ball's spitting around and you're right in the thick of a Test match trying to win it for England?
Yeah, I mean, Cookie actually mentioned it at one point that who'd have thought 12 months ago he was doing a masterclass with the under-19s when I was there indoors, and 12 months on we were stood together next to each other at short leg. Yeah, it's quite surreal how quickly things have happened, but I'm trying not to dwell on it too much and trying to take it all in my stride.
Yeah, you must have been 14 or 15 when Cook was last out here scoring 300s, and now you're opening the batting with him.
Yeah, like I say, things are happening quickly, but I'm just trying to take everything as it comes and not look too far ahead or soak it all in too much either. Just try and stay in the moment and take it as it comes.
Regardless of the result in Bangladesh and the pitches that were played on, did you benefit in some way by perhaps not playing and just having a look round and seeing how people went about Test match cricket?
Maybe, yeah. The one thing I did, the one thing I did do was make sure that when I did get the chance, I'd be well prepared. So I took the time that I had not playing to go to the next and work hard with ramps, and I think that was really beneficial for us as well as watching some of the cricket there. It was obviously very tough conditions out there, and just speaking to a few of the lads, it was good to get their feedback on the wickets of this continent and how they learned whilst batting out there. So I did take a lot of learnings out of that, and hopefully by doing that extra bit of preparation, that's helped me going into this series. So
you mentioned your nerves in the first innings. What about the second innings? Did it just in any way feel like a normal game of cricket and you were just batting?
Maybe a little bit more so. Like I said, I tried to get involved a bit more in the game, try and not think about myself as an individual, but try and think about what the team wanted and required me to do, and try and do the best job I could do in that particular moment, and I think that helped. And like I say, I'm thankful that it went the way it did. Where
did that six come from? Second six you've ever hit in first class cricket, I think.
That's right. Yeah. Hopefully a few more to come as well. I'm always confident in my ability to hit the shots that I practice, and that was an opportunity for me to play it, and thankfully it went for six.
Were you thinking 100 at any stage?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said no. But I was also very aware that I couldn't look too far ahead. It was more difficult to score freely this morning. It started turning more, and with the ball reversing it, the ball with the 7-2 field on the offside, it kind of shut one side down, and that was another challenge that I faced for the first time in my Test career. But I'm confident that every single experience that I have out here will make me a better player, and that was just another case of that.
Big week for you, big week for your family. Saw you having dinner with them last night. How did they cope?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I've literally just seen a picture of when I got my 50, and I think my dad was quite emotional, understandably, I think. As proud and as happy as I am, I'm sure they are as proud and as happy, if not tenfold more, because of the fact that everything that I experience, I think they experience even more. It does make me happy that I've been able to give them a decent time in the last day or so.
Well, good for that. The last one, there's a lot of nice press about you, a lot of things being said. Do you read the press, or are you just going to keep that in a box and get on with it?
I think a little bit of it you can't really avoid, but again, it's not a case of going out there and searching a name all over the world and trying to see what people are saying about you. The way cricket is, a lot of people say good things about when things are going well, and naturally get criticised if you don't do well, but I think it's important to stay level, and that's one of the things that I've learned in my short career as well, to make sure that you don't look too far ahead and try and focus on what you do well, and stick to that.
Terrific way of looking at it. Thanks for your time. Well played.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, he looked mature on the field. He sounded mature there as well for a young man of 19. He's in the record books as the highest scoring teenager for England in Test matches, 82 in this second innings. Jack Crawford, 74 against South Africa in 1906, and Dennis Compton, one of the greats of English cricket, 65 against New Zealand in 1937. So yes, you can't complain about that start. However much you might have been dreaming about 100 when you got to 82, this is a very good, positive, impressive start.
Highly impressive. Probably the best start by a youngster since Joe Root, and we've seen what Joe Root has done in the short period of time. But even the way he spoke there, it looks as though he's very much at home on the big stage. You know, his batting looks after himself. He very much plays the right tempo. He has a great temperament, technically very sound, whether it's against seam or spin. He's just going to get better and better. But what impressed me, he's a fast learner. So I saw him at the end of last year playing for Lancashire against Surrey. Then we played against him twice this summer. And now what we're seeing in an England shirt is quite incredible. And to think 12 months ago, he wasn't selected for the England under-19 World Cup trip. And where is he now?
Well, he admitted the whole thing is a learning process. You know, from now on, he's taking nothing for granted, which is good, very sensible, very mature. You know, if Izak could throw up different conditions, the rest of the series, luck can change. You just learn from everything that's going on around you.
Yeah, and the best players in the world are the quickest learners, and he strikes me. People can talk a good game and mean a different thing, but he actually, the way he sounded, it sounds like he means exactly what he's saying, and a great character, and you learn a lot from hearing what people have to say. And I was really impressed with the way he admitted how much he's learned from his experiences in Bangladesh, learning in those conditions prior to coming to India and picking everybody's ears around him, like getting those 1%ers that can help him. And he's willing to improve, which is the main thing. The best players do that, willing to learn from others as well.
All right, well, lots of lessons to be learned, of course, from even a drawn test match. Let's go back to Rajkot for a few final thoughts from, well, the gang of four.
Gang of three, actually, because I'm not going to offer any opinion whatsoever. Michael, going to come to you, because you were in Bangladesh and you saw what happened at the end of that test match in Dhaka. The contrast between then and now.
Absolutely. So it feels more like a victory for England, given what happened in Dhaka, where England were ridiculed a little bit. One or two people saying, oh, they'll just get blown away 5-0 in India. They'll just, their batsmen's heads will just be put on a platter for India's spinners. Well, it hasn't worked out like that. India have more than competed here, and obviously they were the ones pushing for victory today. And one or two areas of real uncertainty after Bangladesh, clarity has come to those areas. So Hameed, for example, is a massive plus for England. They've been looking for a man at the top of the order to accompany Cook, and the way he played was quite magnificent. And the way Adil Rashid bowled, England deciding on that balance of 3 and 3, which is probably the right balance in the end. The way that Rashid bowled was another massive plus for England.
England take massive confidence from this, Ian, even though they couldn't get across the line.
Yeah, but just look at that. I mean, if you put the whole game into context, England were written off before they even started this game by just about everybody, and they've come here, they've dominated the game. They put runs on the board in the first innings, which is crucial in this part of the world. If you win the toss, you've got to make the most of it. They did that. The bowlers stuck to their task. And if you look at the scores up until the fourth innings, you'd have thought we were playing on a road and there was nothing in it. I thought it was an extremely good cricket wicket. And I thought England outmaneuvered and outplayed India for probably 90% of this match. And that's a big rap over here. And they'll take a lot from that. They'll go into the next test. And I think there's our spinners. If they bowl as well as they did in this game, and they do down there, then they can out-bowl India again. And I thought our spinners were better.
We'll talk about Hameed. I know I've already spoken to you about it, but we've just heard his interview, and David quite rightly was saying how mature he looked on the field. He looks worryingly young when you look at him face to face so close. But
everyone does compared to us.
Yeah, well, it's a good point, well made. Move on. What did you take from the way he spoke there and what he said in terms of his maturity and the way he wants to learn going forward?
Well, just I didn't think he was 19. He'd answered those questions that you gave him as if he'd been around for years. He was a 25-year-old or something. I think Cook said in the press conference about on the field what he'd noticed about how good he was as a player of spin, and we saw that. And off the field, how unflappable he is. And that's exactly what we saw as well. He is unflappable. He is very calm. It did him some good, I have to say. It's like the last test matches in the old days playing at the Oval. The last test match was a bit of a hospital pass to make your debut. Didn't get any runs, you were left out at the side. I think it did him some good not playing in those two dodgy pitches in Dhaka and Chittagong. He might have been wrongly assessed there, 4 low scores, and everyone said, another opening batsman. He's come here, he's been around the setup for a while, they have taken to him. I spoke to Mark Ramprakash about him, and we saw Mark throw to him in the nets. He knows what he wants. Guys that we've played with that have gone on to have long careers are the ones. Michael Vaughan, when he came in, knew exactly what he wanted in practice, in training, didn't look around and fuss about what other people were doing. Trescothick was the same. Guys who know what they want when they come into that England side generally go on and have good careers. Here is a lad who knows his game, and he'll do it his way, no one else's way. He'll learn from Cook. He's got the greatest master at the other end he could possibly have. He'll learn from him, but he'll do it his way.
Well, England now know what he can do. India know what he can do. The world knows what he can do. 5 Test match series, India will be watching.
They will be, and they'll give it a lot of thought how they bowl at him. I mean, the one area they didn't test him out at all was with short pitch bowling. Now, it may be that you go to Vizag and you're not as much pace as this pitch, you're not able to do that. But that is one area that they will look at. I'm not saying he can't play the short ball at all, but I did see him in a warm-up game in Bangladesh where he struggled a little bit with a couple of short balls, and they just didn't test him out at all. And then the other thing is, now that he's shown what he can do, there's a level of expectation there already, but a fantastic performance. I can't think that I've seen a better performance from a debutant in recent times for England. I mean, there have been plenty of them who've gone on and done well, but if you put this into context, as a 19-year-old playing against the #1 side in the world, the #1 bowler in the world, it was a remarkable performance.
Final one about Alistair Cook. 30 hundreds, 5 in India. Staggering.
An amazing, it just breaks records, doesn't it? I was here, as most of us were, when he flew halfway around the world up to Mohali and got 100 after, 30 odd hours, I think, travelling. And arrived the night before, went out, cruised to 100, and he's never really looked back. He's got 30 hundreds now. He's the one player playing in world cricket who I believe could get close to Sachin Tendulkar. He's not 32 yet, so batsmen, they can go on for a bit longer than the hard-working bowlers and all-rounders, but the batsman, it's an easy life, and he's not 32 yet. He could bat till 36, 37.
I think you've heard that speech before, David, once or twice. Whatever has happened here today, it set the series up nicely.
Indeed it has. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly right to mark the achievement of Alistair Cook in getting to 30, and we know he'll get a lot more runs yet. And right, of course, to talk about the man making his debut and all the runs he's been getting and is likely to get too. Right, so lots of pluses for England, especially given where they were before the game. For India, it's been an interesting experience too, hasn't it? Because #1 side in the world, every Test match they've played in the last 12 months or so in India, they seem to have won against, against good opposition. So that momentum has been slowed now, which is important.
100%, and I loved the way England put the pressure back on India. They could have won that Test match. All the pressure was right on India at the back end. They had to survive for a draw. They're not used to that, so that would be a massive shock for them. All their backroom staff, they haven't lost a game in years in India. So their record is phenomenal, but the plus side is they haven't lost it. They had to fight hard to get out of that situation, but they did that. And I know next pitch will be very different. You imagine it will be more suited to them.
So they're saying.
They'll be silly not to.
There was a one-day international against New Zealand where, in the second innings of the game, Mishra picked up 5 wickets. So the leg spinner picks up 5. OK, he's not looked a great bowler in this Test match, I have to say that. But yeah, if the pitch is going to turn in a different sort of way, then here we go again, as they say.
Exactly, and that's why the toss is so important. We've won the toss in this game. We've dominated the game. India previously, I think, had won 8 Test matches, 8 tosses straight, had won those Test matches. So yeah, the pitch is going to turn more, and they'll make it turn more as the series goes on if they need to, because they will back their lot against ours. But England have just got to keep doing what they can do.
That's what's interesting to me, because we said it at the start of our summary of the game half an hour ago or so, that we thought that England spinners has outbowled India's spinners in this game.
And they did, that's fact. And also, you see, India, when they bat first, they dominate and really bully the opposition. They're not used to being put under pressure, batting last in a game. And today, we said at half-time, at the start of the 4th innings there, very much, let's see how they cope with pressure. They didn't cope with it very well. So there's big hope there for England. Yeah,
I mean, they'll obviously be pinning their hopes on batting first, winning the toss, batting first.
And to be fair to India, they say they've lost 3 players going into this first Test match. They had no Dhawan, no Rahul, and no Rohit Sharma. 1 or 2 will return before the end of the series to strengthen their batting.
I also think they made it hard for themselves. That's the perfect wicket that England could have played on. A flat one that spins a little bit. It'll be a totally different story if they get the wickets like they did in Bangladesh, which I imagine, if I was in the India camp, I'd do that. Prepare Bunsons that are going to spin a lot from day one.
Well, we'll find out soon enough. Just a word about Virat Kohli, because for him, of course, a slightly different experience today, as he acknowledged at the presentations. You're having to battle it through. He showed a bit of character there in himself, leading that way, leading from the front to make sure that India did get away with the draw.
He did exactly that. We've kept saying that the best players in the world learn the quickest, and he is one of the best players in the world, and he learns extremely quickly, whether he's with the bat in hand or as a leader, and he's going to be learning from all these experiences put in front of him, and he'll certainly learn a lot from this performance today.
OK, right. Well, thanks to you both.